All right, so here is your Unit 6 practice test review. I put a Dropbox link. This is like a super long link, but feel free to type this in if you want to see the practice test with an answer key. Let me go ahead and pull up the answer key just in case. I'll try to zoom in on the answers so you can see them, but just in case you don't have like a high def or something like that, then it's not going to work too well. All right, so I'm just going to go through these. I'll scan through, and then you can just, stop or rewind as you need to. So 1 is 32. There's 2, 3, 4. So let me go over. Let me zoom out, actually. So these are the answers to the Unit 6 practice test. And there you go. So just push pause and look at them if you need to. All right. So I'm going to quickly go over the ones you asked me to do in class for both classes. And there's my paper. Starting on number 5. So number 5, kind of in a rush, so if it's going kind of fast, sorry. So it's a cube root of 27x cubed y squared times cube root of y to the 4th z to the 9th. So since these are being multiplied, same root, you can put everything under the same root, which will be a 27x to the 3rd, y to the 6th, z to the 9th. And keep in mind you're looking for perfect cubes. Turns out 27 is a perfect cubed. That is 3 cubed. Y to the 6th is a y cubed with another y cubed. Z 9th is z cubed, z cubed, z cubed. You don't have to show your work this way, but this is just one way you can keep track. So everything is a perfect cube. So what comes out is 3 y squared z cubed. All right, so next problem. Number, looks like 16 was the next one, so the graphing one. 16 says y equals cube root of x minus 3 plus a 2. So the way I showed you guys this is just to keep track of your shift. So your shift horizontal is a plus 3, shift vertical is a plus 2. Make your two tables, x, y. Another table over here, x, y. This one will be our shifted table, so I'm going to add 3 to my x values and then add 2 to my y values. So since this is a cubic, cubics mean that you can start at 0 and you can use negative numbers. So what we're going to do is I'm going to rewrite this equation without the shifting. So cube root of x, and just pick some perfect cubes. So positive 1 is a perfect cubed, and 8, which means let's try negative 1 and negative 8. All right, so if you plug an 8 into the x, the cube root of 8 is a 2. Cube root of 1 is a 1. Cube root of a 0 is a 0. Cube root of negative 1 is a negative 1. Cube root of negative 8 is a negative 2. So you're basically just taking these x values and plug it into this non-shifted model. Now we're going to shift everything. So all your x values get 3 added onto it. So 8 plus 3 is 11. 1 plus 3 is 4. 0 plus 3 is 3. Negative 1 plus 3 is a 2. Negative 8 plus 3 is a negative 5. All right, let me double check. 3, 4, 3, 2, negative 5. Okay, add 2 to all your y values. So that's going to be a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, and a negative 2. All right, so let me go and pull up a graph real quick. Hold on. Okay, so now we're going to be graphing this thing. Come on, dual page. Make this kind of bigger. All right, so I'm going to start from the bottom. So negative 2, negative 5 is negative 2, negative 5. 2, 1. So 2 goes up to 1. 3, 2. So over 3 up. Wait a minute. That doesn't look right. Hold on. Oh, there you go. That was wrong. Sorry about that. Thing is here, so I added 2, it's 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a 0. Okay. So negative 5, 0. So negative 5, 0 is right here. 2, 1 is right here. 3, that's not 2, 1. See what happens when you rush? That's what I'm trying to show you guys. Don't rush through stuff. 2, 1, then we have 3, 2, we got 4, 3, and then we got 11, which is like right here. Make it out here. So there's 11, 11, 4, which would be like up here. All right, and remember when you're connecting these, try to think of them as like half parabolas. That's going that way. This one's coming down that way. Okay, and there you go. Domain and range. The domain on this thing, since going infinity both ways, is all real numbers for both. Okay, next one. Single page. Which one did we just do? 16. So people had another question on a number which I don't know because I just dropped my page. There it is. Okay. So 17, 16, 17, 18, and 23 are the ones we're about to do. So number 17 says g of x, which tells me it's a function, equals -4 times the square root of x minus a2. So this is my shift. This is going down 2, so that's going to be what I'm keeping track of. So what I'm going to put over here is my function -4 root x. That's what's going to be plugged into this. Let's call it y. Let's call that y. So call this y. So y equals. Since this is a square root, you can't plug in negative x values because negative square roots gives us complex numbers, which we're not worried about at this point in time. So we're going to start at 0 and then plug in some positive perfect squares. So like a 1 is a perfect square and a 4. You only need that many points. I'm not requiring you guys to do more than that. So plug a 0 into here and you will get 0. Square root of 1 is 1 times -4 is -4. Square root of 4 is a 2 times a -4 is a -8. All right, so now let's do our shifted table. And the only thing that's happening is we're doing -2 on our y's because it's shifting down 2. There is no horizontal shift because there's nothing inside with the x. So my x's all stay the same, 0, 1, and 4. Subtract 2 from your y, so -2, -6, and -10. Let me double check that. Looks good to me, I think. Remember, if you catch my mistakes, then just let me know. Let me copy this over and put it here and start graphing. Okay, so first point will be at 0, -2, which is here. Next point's at 1, -6. And next point's at 4, -10, which is down here. So if you think of this, this is kind of like a really wide half parabola. So it's going kind of like this, and then keeps going that way. All right, and there you go. So next one, 18, which is another graph. So let me copy this graph also. Add a page. Paste here. Okay, so number 18. 18 says y equals 1/4 of the cube root of x plus 1. So cube root, meaning that I can do positive and negatives. This shift right here, so minus a 1. So make our two tables, x, y. Second table, x, y. But I'm going to shift this one by subtracting 1 on my y's. This one will be y equals 1/4 cube root of x. So that's what I'm plugging into. I'm just plugging into it with no shifting. Cube roots can get negatives and positives. So I want a +1 because that's a perfect cube, and a +8. -1, -8. Okay, so I plug an 8 into here. I get 2. 2 times 1/4 is 1/2. Okay, plug a 1 into there, and I'll get a 1/4. Plug a 0 into there, and I'll get a 0. Plug a -1, I'll get a -1/4. Plug in a -8, and I'll get a -1/2. All right, -1/2 because 2 over 4, -2 over 4 becomes a -1/2. So now I'm going to subtract 1 from all of those. So x's stay the same, 8, 1, 0, -1, and -8. All right, so 1/2 minus 1 is a -1/2. 1/4 minus 1 is a -3/4. 0 minus 1 is a negative 1. Negative 1/4 minus 1 is a negative 1 and 1/4. I don't want to put it as a mixed number just because I'm going to be graphing this anyways. So negative 1 minus 1/2 is just like you're adding it. So 1 plus 1/2 is a negative 1 and 1/2. All right, so let's graph that. So 8 comma negative 1/2. So 8, and then I go down a little bit halfway. All right, then I do 1 and negative 3/4. So 1, oh man, it's going to be really skinny. Negative 3/4 is down a little bit more than a half. Okay, 0's at negative 1. So if you can imagine that, that's kind of like a really skinny side right there. Other side is going to be negative 1 and 1/4, which is about right here, and negative 8 and negative 1 and 1/2, which is in the middle more. And you got the same kind of thing going this way. And there you go. Okay. Last problem, 23. I can go back to full screen for this one. So 23, you'll get the square root of 2x plus 1 equals 2x minus 3. Now, with this one, you have an entire side that is being square rooted. So what you need to do is get rid of this square root. It's already isolated. There's nothing on the outside, so it's a good idea to get rid of the square root right now by squaring both sides. So I'm going to take the left-hand side, square it, and the right-hand side, and square it. What that accomplishes is gets rid of the square root, so you get 2x plus 1. 2x minus 3 when you square it is not a 4x minus 9, it's a 2x minus a 3 times another 2x minus a 3. Or if you know the pattern, it's a squared minus 2ab and b squared. So that's going to be a 4x squared minus, let's see here, 612x plus a 9. Now we have a quadratic. So to solve your quadratic, get one side equal to 0. So I'm going to make this side equal 0, subtract a 2x and subtract a 1, subtract a 2x, subtract a 1. It is now 0 equals 4x squared minus 14x plus 8. This entire side can be divided by 2, just to make our numbers a little bit smaller, or you can factor 2 out, either way you want to think about that. So it's going to be 0 equals 2x squared minus 7x plus 4. At this point, you can try factoring or any of those other methods. It looks like quadratic formula is the only thing that's going to work though. So it's going to be x equals negative 7 plus minus square root of negative 7 squared minus 4ac all over 2a. BBAC. Okay. So it's going to be 7 plus minus square root of 49 minus 32 over 4, which is 7 plus or minus the square root of 17 over 4, which means x equals 7 plus the square root of 17 over 4, and x equals 7 minus square root of 17 over 4. Now, you need to be careful here because, like I said before, you should be plugging in and checking your answers. So on number 23, you should take these. Now, it's kind of difficult to take those in those form and plug it back into the original because then you'll have to be taking a square root of another square root. So it does make sense to make these approximations, 2 decimals. This is approximately 2.78. This one is approximately 0.72. Now, it turns out when you plug those back into the original, the square root of 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 3, only one of them is going to work. And the one that works is this one. This other one is an extraneous solution, so this is the only one that you box. All right. And that's all you asked me to go over, so that's all I'm going over today. First half of class tomorrow, we will be reviewing some more. Like I said, it will be a shortened test because you only have half a period to do it. And yeah, so take a look at the answer key again. Try to do the Dropbox link. I'll try to do a link on the YouTube video itself to get that onto there too. Okay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.